Yo, welcome in everybody, and today, baby, I'm hyped for this one. We are ranking all COD pros, all the decrepit old COD pros, all the guys who are above 23 years old in the CDLs. First, we gotta decide what a COD pro is, and basically, I'm gonna be ranking the guys who are locked and loaded to be in the CDL next year. And so, there's a lot of guys who are basically almost for sure not gonna be in the CDL next year, who are, upwards of 24 years old. But so far this year, I guess the question is, how many guys are currently locked in to be COD pros next year who are above the age of 23 years old? So let's give you 3 seconds, 2, 1. Oh, baby, if you guessed 7, you are correct. We're gonna be ranking all 7 of these players. There's also a few guys who are very close to turning 24. And so we'll talk about those guys as well. So without further ado, let's get into ranking these pros. Let's go. Starting at number 7, I'll also be telling you like where they rank in oldest COD pros as well, not just where they rank skill wise. So coming in at number 7, who is the 5th oldest player in the CDL who's locked into a team next year, is none other than Lamar himself. Accuracy for the Seattle Surge. His birthday is August 2nd, 1996, so he's 25 years old. And man, he's had a really impressive career. Obviously dating back to when he was one of the best players in the game in World War II. And so far this year, it's exciting to see him on a team like Seattle with Pred and Sib and Mac and what he can do with that squad. Obviously, there's a lot of variables for sure, but he could be a very interesting player this year to kind of climb the ranks and improve with a really impressive young cast around him. So overall accuracy at number 7. So at number 6, we got Thanos himself. The 3rd oldest player in the CDL is Slasher, and he's coming in at number 6. So his birthday is September 2nd, 1994, so he's 27 years old. And Slasher has had a long history of success in the CDL, obviously, dating back to COD championships with Envy and so much success even way before that as well. Obviously, Slasher is one of the best pros of all time, but heading into this year, he's in a really fun spot as well on LA Guerrillas with a lot of really talented players around him. Gunless, of course, Asem and Hook. That's a really solid squad, and they're going to be very competitive this year. And man, I really like how Slasher plays. And we saw him on LAN in Cold War look really good. So it's going to be exciting to see what he can do this year back on LAN, where we didn't really get to see the full Slasher even during Modern Warfare. So it feels like it's been a long time since we've got to really see Slasher in his element. And he has really no excuse this year. He's got to come out and fry. And hopefully he can do that for sure. So coming in at number 5 now is, this guy needs no introduction. He's a legend. He's the 2nd oldest player in the CDL, but let's just say he's been around the block, but he's got a fair share of wins under his belt, and that's Crimsix, the refrigerator himself, man. Krimz, a GOAT. He's a beast. And he comes in with a birthday at May 29th, 1993, so he's 28 years old. And man, obviously Krim fried last year. He was so underrated in Search and Destroy. I think he really was one of the most interesting players in S&D because of his first blood percentages and how great he was playing as an island player. And all of that considered, heading into this season on the New York Subliners with that squad, with the SMG Friars in front of him, playing with Clay, overall, he's going to be a beast. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Krim can do on the New York Subliners this season. So speaking of the Subliners, speaking of Clay, speaking of the oldest player in the CDL, clocking in at 29 years old. He will turn 30 during this season. May 7th, 1992 is his birthday. Clay is the GOAT, man. He's as good as it gets. Obviously, 3-time COD champion. He does it all. He won with Empire and Modern Warfare. He won with E United and Black Ops 4, and he won with Denial all the way back in AW. And Clay was great last year. That first half of last year, especially, he was literally an elite AR in the league. And if he can be anywhere near that, which I think he can be this year with this squad, with Hydra and with Neptune and Krim, this team is lined up to be a very scary team with the leadership of these guys. And I think they're all going to be frying. I really do. And I like this squad a lot heading in to Vanguard, to say the least. So now, inside the top 3 here, baby. At number 3, a teammate of Clay's on Denial in AW. A player who won COD champs at 18. Attach is here. They're the 6th oldest pro in the CDL. January 4th, 1997. So he's 24 years old. And I mean, Attach has seen it all, and he had a really good year last year for the Rocker. He was fantastic. Obviously, the iciest player in the CDL, no doubt. And just overall makes so many great big-time plays for the Rocker. And now as Standy's duo on the Rocker, I think he's primed for another very good year on Vanguard. I'm looking forward to seeing what Attach can do this season. So now the top 2. All right, who's it going to be? At number 2, we have a player that many refer to as the King of CoD. We have Scump at number 2, the 4th oldest CoD pro with a birthday on June 30th, 1995. So he's 26 years old. And obviously last year, Scump had a fantastic season. And that capped off with multiple LAN events where he played unbelievable at the end of the year. And so we got to see the upside of Scump in the big time tournaments. We saw him play very well. One of the best S&D players on the whole season. And realistically, Scump was a for sure top 15 player last year. No doubt about that. And heading into Vanguard, there's no reason to assume that he's not going to be at least a top 15 player this year, if not even higher. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Scump can do. And even at the ripe age of 26, he is still freaking frying, to say the least. So now at number 1, we have the 7th oldest CoD pro. So ironically, he's the youngest of the 7 players we mentioned. He's as good as it gets. And that is, of course, the human turret. Octane is here at number 1. His birthday is June 23rd, 1997. My goodness. Obviously, Octane didn't have the year he wanted the last 2 years, but I really think heading into Vanguard on this LA Thieves squad, he's going to rekindle that fire that he had in BO4 with that ICR in hand, or how good he was previously in World War II, IW, even BO3, he was an elite player. And so this year, I really think Octane is going to get back to that top 12 type player status and be as good as it gets in the CDL for sure on a consistent week-to-week basis. So I'm excited to see Octane with this roster with Jiraza, Kenny, and Envoy running in front of him while he's picking up all the kills around the map. I really think Octane's gonna fry this year for sure, to say the least. So overall, there it is, the 7 oldest pros, all pros over the age of 23 in the CDL next year. Obviously, it's possible that a few of them end up getting picked up. Like, you know, maybe you could have like a Parasite get picked up for Paris or something like that, or for the NRG spot, and then he'd be on this list. But for now, with all the players that we know are gonna be in the CDL next year, these are the 7. The other 2 that have birthdays before the start of the season is none other than Bance and Gunless. So Bance would be 23 years old right now. His birthday is October 14th, 1997. And then Gunless's birthday is November 24th, 1997. So both of them will turn 24 by the time the season starts. And so I wanted to for sure mention them in a video like this because they're right there. And let's be honest, I mean, Gunless would probably be at number 4 or 5, and Bance would be at maybe number 6 or 7. But either way, they're obviously very good players. And in a top 30s list, they're both definitely on that list. They're still very good pros that contribute game in and game out to their team success. Obviously, with Bance being on one of the best teams in the CDL, of course, this season. The other guys that'll be turning 24 throughout the season are Major Maniac, Priesta, Arcides, Pristini, Havoc. So there are some of those guys there that are right there in that 23-24 range. And guys, you got to keep your eye on, of course, heading in to CoD Vanguard. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the oldest CoD pros. If you guys did, drop your likes, drop your comments down below. I always appreciate you dropping all of your opinions and your thoughts. It helps the video, and I'm trying to do this full time, and I cannot do that without you guys. So it always means a lot to support and everything else. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you guys really enjoyed it. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite, and guys, we'll see you next time. I'm out.